Hi, I like video games, and whenever I can't decide what I want to play, and I look at the stacks of games that I haven't played yet, and then I go and don't play them anyway, and go back to the ones that I really like, and I want to talk about some of them. So one day my sister came around and just dumped a box in front of me. It was like, here, fuck it, have it, I don't know. And in that little shoebox was a couple of PS1 games, a couple of Game Boy games, and the most yellow Game Boy that I have ever seen. And one of those games was Loops for the original Game Boy. And that is, I don't know, it's just immediately felt like, holy shit, this is it. Like, if there was ever a perfect bathroom game, like, even better than Tetris, like, this is it. For me, for the longest time, I just had my GBA with the cartridge of Loops in the bathroom for years. Loops is not a bathroom activity. The bathroom is a Loops activity. What you have to do is make loops with these parts that you're given. So you have a limited amount of time to put your piece down, and you can only like, the controls are literally rotate clockwise with the A button and set it with the B button. And that is how you construct loops, however you want. And you'll soon come to find it's kind of difficult to complete the loops, and it's really hard to build in a way that doesn't overly rely on a very specific piece, and then you're just stalling until you get that one specific piece to finish this loop. So like, you'll be best friends with the singular corner and the singular straight piece. Like, the gameplay is so simple, but it's so satisfying how it comes together as this super simple gameplay loop of just making loops. So there are different difficulty settings, but I think for just having a good time, you just go with a standard level 3 difficulty and you're just gonna be good. I think it's like a lot harder on the later levels, because all it does is make the timer run out way faster. So you're just really scrambling to put any pieces down where you want them, and you have no time to think about it. So yeah, apparently there's also a Super Nintendo release for this game, but I've never even checked that out yet. I just play this game and I'll throw on something to watch in the background, or just listen to something, and I'll just kill hours with it easily. Pretty much same with the next game. The game that, like, it's impossible to not have heard of Tetris if you are alive. And I'll play it on any fucking platform too. Be it Tetris in the browser, playing Tetris Party, World, whatever different name it has on every different platform. I'll even play the iOS version. I've also definitely played the beginner Tetris on the Wii version for a really long time. It's just so nice to just turn your brain off. Like, I'm not even particularly good at it, but I just really just like how satisfying it is to just make lines disappear forever. It really tickles my brain. Jak 3, and pretty much like just Jak 2 as well, but what I like more about Jak 3 is the refined mechanics and extra weapons that they added, and also more jetboard mechanics. So there's just so much cool stuff and so many ways to move around and solve a mission in just whatever way you want. And they introduced cars. Dude, I love the cars, actually. Everything in this game is so satisfying to move around, to control anything. Like, controlling the cars is amazing. Like, when you take the dune hopper and you boost and then you start jumping, oh baby, it feels great to use each of these weapons, even though the blaster is just an inferior version of the beam reflexor. Like, why would you use it? But it still feels good. And if you don't feel like fighting, you can always just choose to skip the encounter by just spamming the beam reflexor. So if you don't even want to do it, you don't have to. You just solve it immediately. Like, this is definitely one of those games where I just sit down and I beat it, and as soon as I beat it, I'm just like, that was awesome, let's do it again, and I'll just start a new save. Like, a broad moveset makes it so cool to overcome these platforming challenges, especially if you do like entry-level speedrun tech to just solve it in a different way than you usually would. Like, oh no, the gates are closed, oh, you want me to go invisible and do the swingy challenge here? Nah, wave concussor. And I think the best part about it is, I mean, easily the jetboard. It's just so awesome to go fast in it, like especially in the desert where you can just go super duper fast. And also so fun to fuck around with when you try to hover over everything. There's so many cool ways to just get around with the jetboard, and just, even if you don't have an active mission, it's just so cool to just exist in the game and just move around. Even just getting onto the jetboard, like you punch board and you're ready to go, or you just get on it and then you do one spin and then you're just immediately at the max speed. Like there's no space here to accelerate by moving forward, but you just get on the jetboard, you spin once and bam, you cleared the whole gap. I dabbled in some Jak 3 speedruns, but I've come to realize that I'm not a grinder, and I just don't like playing under pressure. But you should definitely check out Ricky's ongoing series about Jak 3 speedrunning history. I'm gonna link it down below. Moho, or as the Americans call it, cock and ball torture. This is such a niche game that it is one of the most expensive games out there on accident. Not because anyone wants it, but because it's so rare and obscure. And so it was only released on the Dreamcast in the UK, and because I guess it's pretty easy to have a complete Dreamcast collection because there's not that many games out there. It's just sought after just to fulfill the collection, and that's why it's super expensive. And that's why I can't have it. It's a really niche game that no one plays, except for me and a couple other people. So my dad brought it home because he got it at a DVD rental place for like $5, and I was like, okay, I'll get this, I'll try it out. And I watched him play it, and I was like, damn, this is sick. And then I started playing it, and it kicked my ass. It's really hard. And then I later came back to it, like 15 years later, and it was still hard. But I was like, there's no one out here who speedruns this, so I could just do it. And I made it happen. I got it onto the leaderboards in speedrun.com, and I started speedrunning it. There's a couple other people who started speedrunning it as well, which is really cool. Not actively right now anymore, but it was really fun to figure out how to go fast in this game together. And there was one runner, 87, who went really hard on getting runs on almost every IL in the game. And then when they were done, we discovered a tech that obsoleted like almost all their times. And this is where the game really starts to get going. Dash canceling. So if you build up speed by moving forward up to running speed, your character does a dash attack instead of the normal punch. And you can cancel this dash attack by jumping out of it and gaining super high speed. And you can stack it and chain it and go really fast enough to skip the neon barriers in the game, allowing you to finish these levels way faster than we were already able to do. Everything about this game just comes together as a really satisfying package that just tickles my brain. The sound design, the mechanics, the music never gets old. Speedrunning the game and only having in-game music on, and it literally never got annoying, and I can still listen to it. Whenever it comes on shuffle, it doesn't get skipped. I always listen to it full. So yeah, I just really wanted to talk about these games, and this is pretty much unscripted and like a first draft, because I had ideas for different projects, but they were all like too ambitious and too big, and then I didn't get anywhere with it. But I feel like if I don't make something soon, I'm gonna explode. So here you have this video that probably makes no sense, and I'm just rambling and I repeat myself constantly, but that's okay. I hope you check these games out, or if you already know them, just continue playing them, because video games are awesome and you can do what you want forever. Have a good day.